How to create a super colourful design like this in Affinity Photo, PC or Mac. This uses version 2.3. Go to the pen tool in the Tools panel and select that. And then click on the document and add a stroke. Very basic design, but I want a slight kink in that design. And I'm just going to go over here and select the node tool. So I can just distort that just slightly and move it around. Now I'm going to use the rotation feature in the move tool. But first, you can see I've got a curve here. And this curve here that I've just created using the pen tool, you can create, of course, all number of different curve designs. I've got here the stroke set to black, but click here and you'll notice I've got 8 point, but also I've got pressure setting. So pressure setting, I can change that pressure all over the place. So I can reduce that and you can see it thins the line, or I can push it all up the top to make a thicker line there, but also down there, a slightly thinner line. I just want that nice little thin line there. With that, I can now use transforms, and that's using the move tool. So click the move tool, and you can see this little blue there, and that's this option here, enable transform origin. And I want to move that, so click that, and then just reposition it. So maybe down to there. Just down the bottom, so everything will be rotated around that. So let's just press return or enter. That's on the keyboard. Return or enter. And then this rotation. Set it to say 10. And you can of course vary it, but you can also click duplicate. Number of copies, and you can increase that. And you can see as you go all the way around, you can create something like that. Now, that's a few too many. I want, say, 20. So 20. And maybe just change that 52. I don't want that number, and it's just a bit of hit and miss to get exactly right, but let's just change it. Yeah, and number of copies, yes, that's exactly what I want, 18 and 20, and click OK. And you can see now you've got this design, and the reason I wanted that like king, that sort of little turn here, was I want to create this space that I can now fill. With this, I can select all of those curves. So go over here to the layers panel, select them all, hold down the shift, and they're all selected. Right click, and I can group them. And the reason for that is now I want to create this, turn this into a rasterized design. But before I do that, I want this center bit also filled. So just click over here, and I'm using the ellipse tool. So ellipse tool and apply that. Now it's blue there, I don't want that, I want it to be black, so let's just put black there. With that, again, I can just select that one, and group. The reason I'm grouping it, I want to rasterize it now. So layer, and go down to rasterize. And you can do this, of course, with any sort of curve design, but the key thing is that this is an area that you can fill. If you've got a gap there, that's just not going to work. So with this little nice little fill area there, I can go over here, flood fill tool. So just click there, and I can then click on this. And you can see I've got 67%. Now you might have to try different things. It doesn't always work. 67, that's one I've gone with. But you put it to 90 or something like that. And you can also just undo, and I'm just going to fill it with blue. And I can just go around, maybe select a couple of ones. Let's just go that one, maybe that one. And then go and select again in the swatches, just click, and oops, that fills the obviously the stroke. I don't want that. Maybe red, and you can see as you do that, you can fill this maybe yellow or lime. Actually, it's more lime, I think. So that's that, and again that one. And of course, what you can do, you could create maybe a set of swatches, like 5 or 6 swatches that you've got as a nice little theme, and you can then use those. I'm just randomly selecting from the colours here, and let's finish off blue and blue. There's no other blue. So I've got this design now. With this design, now what I can do is I can use exact same thing, the move tool. So move tool selected, press return or enter on the keyboard again, and this panel will appear again. And this time I'm going to use a scale. So in this case, you definitely need 2.3. If you're going to use that feature. You can also, of course, just duplicate them anyway, just via the layer menu, perfectly reasonable. But this just makes it a lot quicker. So this I'm just going to go duplicate again. Number of copies, say 6 or... I never know exactly when I actually just drag this. I might go for 12, might go for 6. Just see. Now, scale. I'm just going to reduce that down. And you can see as I do that, now I think that's a few too many. So I'm just going to go the other way. So maybe 3 or 4 or 5. Maybe set scale again. Go like that. Something. But it's not exactly right. Not what I want. I want this, the rotation. Now I'd love to see a colour feature where it randomises the colour. That will be brilliant in this panel. Obviously at this version, it's not available. But you can rotate it. So you just rotate it and you can see as I do that, set the 10, 12, what I want, just something like that. Of course you can vary it. Push it to 32, 33. So you get this lovely colour change. Obviously yellow, obviously green, yellow, blue, etc. And then click OK. And of course you can just create all kinds of variations on that. So once you've got that, again, you can select them all, or you can just go to the layers panel. So select them all that way. And there's always one I seem to miss. So make certain you select them all. With that, right click again and group. So they're all grouped. And now you can then rasterize this design. So I'm just going to resize that a bit and then go to layer, down here to rasterize. All turned into a single pixel layer. But however, you might, before you do that, so I've just undone that, you can select the pixels there, not the group, but all the pixel layers. You can always go to effects. So you might like to add a sort of 3D. So you've got a 3D effect there. So let's just increase the radius. You can see the design there. If not, bevel emboss, just try that. I think that looks pretty good as well. Also, outer shadow. So click there and then you go to radius, offset, put it about half. And you've got a lovely shadow effect as well. And then click close. You can of course vary it, but the thing is, once you've gone to the group, got the group, you can then go to layer and again rasterize. So rasterize turns it all to a single pixel layer. Of course, at this point, you can't change it anymore. And then you can then just hold down the Alt Option key and duplicate that design. And then fill the entire design with that lovely multicoloured shape. And of course you can fill it. And also, you can also resize it. You don't need to keep them all the same size. Maybe rotate it as well. So just rotate that design, just there. And then move that up there and so on. So you can create all kinds of complex background designs with this colourful design. Hope you found this tutorial of interest. Any questions, please let me know in the comments below. A like or dislike, always appreciated. Thank you much.